I'd like to give an overview of the What is Awakening program. And I've been teaching this for many years now. I really enjoyed teaching it. The way that the program came about was when I was first starting to be interviewed by some of the programs and podcasts about awakening. I wanted to find out from especially Conscious TV, Buddha at the Gas Pump. They had interviewed so many people who were on the path of awakening, and I wanted to find out what they had learned. And both of them, when I asked the interviewers, they said one of the main things they learned was that there's no agreement about awakening. And so that really made me think, I have found that, myself as a student, and when I have gone out, there is an agreement. And so as a teacher, I really wanted to offer people not the answer. I'm not saying I have the answers to what awakening is, but the landscape. What is the landscape of awakening? How is it understood in different traditions? What about you and your own flame for awakening? Can you be in touch with that? Can you cultivate and honor that? And then also, how can we understand the practices that we're doing so that we can make use of our really, really precious meditation time and retreat time, rather than just going and doing things, to really be conscious about what you're doing, why you're doing it, what it's doing to your consciousness, and how it fits into your overall scheme of your spiritual unfoldment. And so this is where the 4 practices that have been confirmed by neuroscience and rooted in tradition are the second sort of major component of the What is Awakening program. That these 4 practices are found in Buddhism. And I just love that, in Buddhism, we've known about them for, many thousands of years, and now they're being seen as doing particular things in neuroscience. So there's four categories of meditation. I'll talk about each category. You'll have a chance to practice that kind of meditation. And, it may be some of them you've done, maybe all of them, maybe you've only done one of the categories. And so now you can see, oh yeah, there's these other kinds of meditation. Maybe I need to round out my practice, or wow, if I did this one, it would really support what I've been doing, or I could deepen what I've been doing. So this is the What is Awakening program, and I really love teaching it. And at first I thought it would be mainly for advanced people, but I've had a lot of people new to the path attend it and found it to be just as valuable. I mean, I wish I'd had something like this when I was, new on the path, because it would have given me a sense of the territory out there to be more thoughtful and conscious about, especially doing retreats, because it's precious time, especially for people who work full time. Getting that time off work, you're using vacation time to go on retreats, and to really use that time wisely, I think for all of us is really important. So those are the 2 main components of the What is Awakening program. They're woven together. I go over some of the misconceptions about awakening that I think are really important, that are good to know early on in the path, and also help us relate to teachers. And I explain, in my view, why we have scandals of clearly realized people who are doing behaviors that harm others. What's going on with that? And for me, that's all about embodiment. So I touch on embodiment, the importance of it, what it means, and its place in the path. I'd love to do a whole teaching on embodiment. Maybe I'll do that at some point, but at least to know where that fits into the path of awakening and how important it is, and how if we aren't doing that and continuing to work with our personality material even after awakening, that it causes a lot of problems. So this program is really good for people at any point in the path, whether somebody is new or whether somebody's very deep in the path, maybe has experienced awakening and wants to understand some context for it to really make sense of what's happening and feel more grounded in like what to do next, what is next, and to get a sense of of grounding in how it's understood in different traditions. And sometimes people will have an awakening in a tradition that they've been in, but it doesn't fit with their tradition, and so the teachers may not relate to what's the person is experiencing. And this is part of why I want to go through the different how different traditions see it, because I think those are all valid perspectives. And I share this in a segment I do called Dimensions of Non-Duality, which is about different ways of experiencing non-duality, tastes of awakening or actual awakening, and how different traditions come in at different dimensions, and that's why they see it differently. But really, all of these dimensions are still non-duality. So it can be helpful for people who may have had an experience that isn't traditional in their lineage or their tradition, but it's still a very valid experience, and to have some context for that may not be available just in one's own home tradition. So I hope you'll join me for the What is Awakening program, and many blessings to you.